Hi, my name is Nick Kirkpatrick, and the title of my talk. No, I guess first I just want to start off by thanking Sister Rachel and Sister Christina. Obviously, you guys are the backbone of all of this, and without your sacrifices, we wouldn't be able to be involved, and not all these families would be touched as much. So thank you guys so much. So as Sister Rachel said, the goals of the summer mission are spread the gospel, grow a community, grow in the relationship between the community and the church, as well as just give kids an opportunity to be kids. And I think that last one is the one that definitely struck me the most. And that's kind of the one I think I'd like to focus on the most. Not that the other two aren't very important, obviously. But yeah, so I mean, it's important for a lot of reasons, and we could talk about that a lot, but I'd probably say the biggest would be, as a child, when you're in a healthy environment and interacting with people, that's when you develop so much of your social skills and learning how to interact with people and the right way to hang out and what's too far and what's not too far, and it's in testing that line and figuring that out with other people that you grow. So obviously it's just being able to do that is such a huge thing. But also, when we have just beautiful days in our community with our neighbors, just hanging out and laughing, that's such a huge gift that I think we often overlook, and they seem like average or simple days, but they're not days that are guaranteed, and they're the kind of days that can just fill you with so much warmth and joy and hope that it's so important. And so even for me, it was such an amazing reminder that green grass and sunshine and laughing with friends can be everything. And so I certainly was reminded of that quite a bit. And so, when Sister said she kind of came to me and was like, I got this big idea for Flint, I was excited to help out. But I was a little surprised at first that it was going to be kids camp. I don't know why, I just wasn't really expecting that. But like Sister said, it really wasn't until she started telling me that they can't always just go outside and run around safely, and they have responsibilities and burdens and things like that I couldn't imagine having to deal with as a kid. And I know when I think about those times, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I went and just rode my bike around with my friends or went down to our neighborhood creek or anything like that, and those were awesome times, and I still think about how great that was. And so I certainly wouldn't be the person I am today without those experiences. And so knowing that there's a whole community of kids that don't have those opportunities, that was just really heartbreaking. And so I guess that's why it's so abundantly clear to me that this is such an important mission, but it's a mission that's succeeding. I mean, it's a success, I would say. Just seeing these kids and seeing the joy in their face and just running around screaming without a care in the world. It looks chaotic, but it's just beautiful to be able to see everyone have a great time. This is Davion right here. He was a good friend of mine, and genuinely the nicest behaved kid I think I've ever met in my life. I mean, he was just so unbelievably nice. He loved this pom-pom thing. I could not figure out why, but he loved it. It was just so much fun. He just stood there for hours. And everyone was going to the chapel, and I told him he couldn't really take it in the chapel because he can't really be doing that. And so it took a lot of convincing, but I promised him I'd keep it in my pocket and he could have it back immediately once he gets out. And so the second he came out, he came running up to me and I handed it to him and he was stoked. He came back 30 seconds later, just didn't have it. I was like, where'd it go? And he's like, I got bored, I wanted to play football. And so we just played football instead. I mean, it was just a lot of fun to be able to hang out and have those types of experiences with everyone. So a lot of people ask, like, what is the key to happiness? And at the risk of sounding arrogant, I think I've got it like 100% figured out. I think I've got this one solved. Assuming you're age 10-ish, It is approximately 300 water balloons and someone to throw them at.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I promise you, that is all it takes. So for those who weren't able to make it on any of the missions, I was in charge along with Charlie or Jack Aderick, who's not here, or Lily Foley, who's not here. We would always be in charge of games after lunch, and we had a couple hundred water balloons every week. That was quite the adventure to try and get blown up, and then organize a water balloon toss. The prize being they get to peg myself and whoever I was working with, the volunteers first, and that quickly devolved into just an all-out war, which was awesome too. I mean, that was just so much fun, just being able to run around and hang out and have a crazy time. Got a little scary when people got close to Sister Rachel or Sister Christina. Some very hard limits on the no throwing, but other than that, I mean, it was beautiful, and it was just so amazing to help out. And all weeks but 1 week, we had the kind of water balloons that just tie themselves and fill up themselves. And there was 1 week that it was just one at a time. You had to turn the hose off and on again, and it was quite the process. Everybody wanted to help, and everybody wanted to learn how to tie a water balloon, and everyone who knew wanted to help the people who didn't know. And they would immediately get thrown and broken. We didn't have that many water balloons that week, but it was still it was so cool being able to see that and see each other, see them share with each other everything and work together. So it was just, it's a cool movement, and it's a cool mission, and it's so cool to see it working and see the joy in their face, and seeing them work with each other, and all that is just really awesome. And so I'm so blessed that I get to be a part of it. I'm sorry, I had to have notes. Yeah, so I guess all this is to say that, at least from my perspective, it's very clear that God's just doing wonderful things for all the families and for all the kids and for us too. Rarely do we have such a ripe opportunity to share so much love with people. Rarely is it, I don't want to say easy, but it's this open of an opportunity that you just have to go and be there, and you're able to share so much love. So that in itself is an abundant blessing. So thank you for that opportunity. Thank you for everyone. And I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you so much.